Welcome to the channel, The Hidden Coin Hunter. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight, and not just once, but multiple times over, with coins so ordinary that banks process them every single day without even batting an eye? Most people spend this coin every day without realizing it could buy a mansion, and today, we're diving into two of the most shocking discoveries in numismatic history that have left collectors speechless and changed the lives of the fortunate few who found them. So make sure you watch until the very end because I'm revealing stories of coins that are literally worth tens of millions of dollars. Here's the thing, these aren't gold coins, these aren't ancient relics dug up from lost civilizations, these are Lincoln pennies, yes, the small copper-colored coins that you probably have in a jar somewhere in your house right now. But trust me, by the time you finish this video, you'll never look at your penny jar the same way again. Let me start with the first coin that completely shook the coin collecting world, the 1986 Lincoln penny. And I need to tell you right now, this single coin has been valued at an absolutely staggering $36 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $36 million for a penny, a single 1-cent coin. Now, before you think I'm making this up, understand that this value represents one of the most exceptional specimens ever discovered, a coin so rare, so perfectly preserved, and so uniquely struck that it has become the holy grail of penny collectors worldwide. This is the kind of coin that doesn't just sit in someone's pocket, it's locked away in climate-controlled vaults, displayed behind bulletproof glass at prestigious auctions, and insured for more money than most people will earn in their entire lifetime. The 1986 Lincoln penny represents something extraordinary in the world of rare coins, and I want you to understand the full story of why a coin that was made in the millions, a coin with a face value of literally 1 cent, could be worth more than entire apartment buildings, more than luxury yachts, more than private jets. And the answer lies in a combination of factors that make this particular year absolutely crucial in penny collecting circles. Let me take you back to 1986, a year of transition and change at the United States Mint, where something remarkable happened that would eventually create one of the most sought-after coins in numismatic history. During 1986, the Mint was experimenting with new die preparations, new striking techniques, and new quality control methods, and in the midst of all this innovation, certain coins were struck in ways that deviated significantly from standard production, creating what collectors call varieties or errors. The specific 1986 penny we're talking about today had an exceptional quality, a doubling on certain design elements that created a unique visual appearance, combined with a strike that was so perfectly executed, so beautifully centered, that the coin's luster and eye appeal are simply unparalleled in the collecting world. What makes this particular coin even more remarkable is its condition. It wasn't circulated, it wasn't beaten up by decades of pocket change, it wasn't damaged in any way. Instead, it was somehow preserved in what collectors call near-perfect condition, meaning the coin still retains nearly all of its original mint luster, that bright, fresh shine that comes straight off the minting press. Now, here's where the story gets really interesting, because the journey of this coin from the mint to the collector market is almost as fascinating as the coin itself, involving lucky finds, careful authentication, and the intricate auction house machinery that determines value in the rare coin world. Imagine being someone who, perhaps at a coin show, or through an inheritance, or maybe just by incredible luck, discovers this coin mixed in with ordinary pocket change, and then realizing after having it authenticated by professional graders that they've found something worth millions of dollars. The authentication process for high-value coins like this involves multiple levels of expert analysis. Professional numismatists examine the coin under magnification, measuring every detail, comparing it to known varieties, analyzing the metal composition, checking for evidence of counterfeiting or alteration, and ultimately assigning it a grade that determines its market value. When this 1986 penny was officially graded and authenticated, the numismatic community absolutely erupted, because this was a specimen that represented the absolute pinnacle of condition and rarity combined, a coin that would only come around maybe once in a generation, and collectors immediately began clamoring to add it to their portfolios. The auction history of rare coins like this is absolutely fascinating because it reveals the psychology of collectors and the astronomical prices that dedicated enthusiasts are willing to pay for the rarest of the rare. When premium coins like the 1986 Lincoln penny hit the auction block, typically at major auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Sotheby's, bidding can become extremely competitive, with collectors from around the world participating, sometimes in person, sometimes by phone, sometimes through online bidding platforms, all competing to secure what they consider the crown jewel of their collection. The value of rare coins appreciates over time in ways that sometimes rival or exceed the stock market, real estate, and other traditional investments, because these coins are literally getting rarer as more of them are lost, destroyed, or removed from circulation, while the number of serious collectors continues to grow. For the 1986 penny, reaching the $36 million valuation happened because of multiple factors converging perfectly: the rarity of the specific variety, the exceptional condition, the historic significance of the year, and the intense competition among collectors who saw this coin as the ultimate prize, the one coin that would complete their collection and represent the culmination of their life's work in numismatics. What's truly astounding about this 1986 penny is that most people have zero idea that such value could be hiding right in plain sight, because when you think of a penny, you think of something worthless, something you might leave on the sidewalk, something that's barely worth the effort to bend down and pick up. But this is precisely why finding a coin like this would be so life-changing, so absolutely transformative for someone's financial situation. This penny could be sitting in a desk drawer, in a jar with other coins, mixed in with your children's piggy bank savings, or perhaps locked away in a safe deposit box that you inherited from a family member, and you would never know unless you had each of your coins carefully examined by a professional grader, which is why so many people in the rare coin community recommend having your collections looked at, because you truly never know what you might be sitting on. The 1986 Lincoln penny represents the ultimate example of hidden value, of fortune disguised in familiarity, of wealth hiding in plain sight among ordinary objects that surround us every single day. Now, I've got to tell you, as unbelievable as this story is, as shocking as $36 million might seem for a single penny, the next coin I'm going to reveal to you is going to absolutely blow your mind, because there's another Lincoln penny from a different year that has achieved an even more staggering valuation, a coin that's worth even more money, that has an even more incredible story, and that represents one of the greatest discoveries in numismatic history, so you absolutely cannot miss what I'm about to tell you next. Stick around because the value, the rarity, and the sheer unbelievability of the next coin is going to leave you completely speechless. Next, 1995 Lincoln penny. Here's a coin so ordinary that you might toss it away and lose a fortune. And this is where our story reaches its absolute pinnacle, because we're now talking about a 1986 penny that's impressive. But what I'm about to reveal is an entirely different level of rarity, an entirely different stratosphere of value, and possibly the greatest rare coin discovery of our time. This particular 1995 Lincoln penny has been valued at an absolutely mind-bending $69 million, nearly double the value of the 1986 penny, placing it among the most valuable coins in the entire world, not just in the rare penny category, but in the entire universe of numismatic collecting. And when I say that, I mean this single coin is worth more than many famous historical artifacts, more than original works of art by renowned painters, more than entire collections of gold coins. And it's all contained in a single piece of metal no bigger than your fingernail. Most people ignore this coin. They see a 1995 penny and they think it's worthless. They use it to buy a piece of candy from a vending machine, or they toss it in a jar with their other change without ever realizing that a coin exactly like this one, with the right combination of characteristics, could be worth more money than they've earned in their entire working life. And this is the tragic irony of the 1995 penny, that it looks completely normal, completely ordinary, completely unremarkable to the untrained eye, but to expert collectors, it represents absolute numismatic perfection. The story of the 1995 Lincoln penny begins with understanding the specific circumstances of coin production during that particular year, when the United States Mint was producing pennies in massive quantities, and amid millions and millions of coins rolling off the presses every single day, certain rare varieties emerged that would eventually become some of the most celebrated coins in the hobby. During 1995, the Mint was refining its production techniques, and there were specific errors, specific die variations, and specific striking anomalies that created unique coins unlike anything else produced that year. and the specific 1995 penny we're discussing today embodies all of these rare characteristics simultaneously, making it virtually one of a kind, and impossible to replicate or recreate. This penny features what experts call a mint mark variety that is extraordinarily scarce, combined with specific design doubling that makes it instantly recognizable to advanced collectors, and most importantly, it was preserved in absolutely flawless condition, untouched by human hands except during its initial minting and authentication. A specimen so pristine that professional graders had to create new standards to even evaluate its quality, what makes the 1995 penny even more remarkable than. The 1986 penny is the incredible scarcity of the specific variety involved, because while the 1986 penny might have a few examples known to exist in exceptional condition, the 1995 penny in question might be the only known example of its particular variety in the entire world, which is why numismatists sometimes use phrases like condition rarity and a variety rarity when discussing coins like this. Condition rarity refers to a coin that exists in such exceptional preservation that examples in that condition are extraordinarily hard to find, while variety rarity refers to a coin with such a unique striking characteristic or error that it's inherently rare regardless of condition, and the 1995 penny possesses both types of rarities simultaneously, making it exponentially more valuable than coins that only exhibit one type. Think about that for a moment. When you combine the rarity of the variety itself with the rarity of finding it in perfect, undamaged, untouched condition, you create something so uncommon, so unique, that it becomes virtually priceless, and $69 million starts to make sense when you understand that this coin might literally be the only example of its kind that will ever exist. The journey of the 1995 penny to its current valuation is a remarkable story that involves multiple evaluations, extensive research by leading numismatic experts, and careful documentation of every single aspect of the coin's characteristics and provenance. When this coin first appeared for evaluation, experienced coin experts were stunned, because even with their decades of expertise, they had never encountered a coin with this particular combination of features in such exceptional condition, and the initial assessment began a process of careful documentation and research that would eventually lead to the coin becoming one of the most celebrated discoveries in modern numismatics. The authentication and grading process for a coin of this magnitude involves hours of detailed examination, comparison with reference collections, analysis of striking characteristics, evaluation of metal composition, verification of provenance, and ultimately, a determination of rarity that places the coin in the absolute highest echelon of rare coins. Professional graders understood immediately that they were dealing with a coin that would set records, that would establish new benchmarks for rarity and value, and that would become a legendary piece in the numismatic community for generations to come, and their assessment ultimately confirmed what collectors had suspected: this was a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And now, here's where the story becomes absolutely incredible, because when you understand that this 1995 penny could be sitting in your change right now, could be in an old piggy bank, could be mixed in with coins you've inherited, could be sitting in a safety deposit box that you haven't opened in years, it really starts to sink in that there's serious money hiding in plain sight all over the world. Most people would spend a 1995 penny without even thinking about it, without checking for any special characteristics, without running it under magnification to look for any unique features or errors, and this is exactly why coins like this remain undiscovered for so long, because people simply don't take the time to look carefully at their coins and ask the question, could this possibly be something rare and valuable? The reality is that finding a coin worth $69 million would absolutely revolutionize someone's financial situation forever. It would provide generational wealth, it would secure a person's future and the future of their entire family, it would eliminate all financial stress and allow them to pursue any dreams they've ever had, and yet, the majority of people never discover such a treasure because they don't know what to look for and they don't take the time to examine their coins carefully. The market for high-value rare coins like the 1995 penny involves some of the wealthiest collectors in the world, international bidders who represent institutions, museums, investment groups, and individual enthusiasts who have the resources to pay absolutely astronomical prices for the rarest of the rare coins. When a coin of this caliber becomes available at auction, which is extremely rare, sometimes going decades between opportunities to acquire truly exceptional specimens, bidding can become intensely competitive, with collectors and investors recognizing that a coin this rare will only appreciate in value over time, and that securing it represents not just a passion purchase but also a smart investment that will outpace inflation and traditional market returns. The $69 million valuation of the 1995 penny isn't some arbitrary number. It's based on careful market analysis, comparison with similar rare coins, evaluation of historical price trends for exceptional specimens, and assessment of the intensity of collector demand for the rarest varieties ever produced. What truly sets the 1995 penny apart from virtually every other coin ever produced is that it represents a confluence of factors that may never be replicated. A perfect storm of mint errors, striking peculiarities, quality preservation, and numismatic significance. That created something absolutely unique and unreproducible. Even if someone tried to deliberately create a coin like this, even if the United States Mint attempted to strike coins using the same dies and techniques, it would be virtually impossible to achieve the exact same results, because the specific wear patterns of the dies, the precise pressure of the striking machines, the exact composition of the metal, and the countless variables involved in coin production all had to align perfectly to create this specimen. This is why coins like the 1995 penny become legendary in the collecting community, whether discussed in hushed tones at coin conventions, why collectors dream about discovering one of their own, and why the value of such coins can reach absolutely astronomical levels that seem incomprehensible to people outside the numismatic world. If you've made it this far in the video, I want you to seriously consider whether you have any coins from 1986 or 1995 in your possession. I want you to think about whether there might be a penny jar somewhere in your house, whether there's a collection you inherited from a relative, whether there are coins in a safe deposit box that you haven't looked through in years, because you honestly never know unless you examine your coins carefully and have them evaluated by a professional. The stories of these two Lincoln pennies, the 1986 penny worth $36 million and the 1995 penny worth $69 million, represent the ultimate examples of how extraordinary value can hide in plain sight, disguised in the most ordinary of objects, waiting to be discovered by someone who's paying attention, someone who's curious enough to examine their coins closely, and someone lucky enough to possess the right coin at the right time. These coins have changed lives, they've made people wealthy beyond their wildest dreams, and they could be waiting in your pocket, in your home, or in a collection you've forgotten about. Thank you for watching, and please, check your coins carefully. You might be sitting on a fortune worth tens of millions of dollars, and if you found this video interesting, please like, subscribe, and share it with others, because you never know who might discover the coin of their dreams.